Coin collectors, and welcome to the DC Coin World International Coin Channel. And this is the Lowell Mills Lowell National Park quarter from 2019. And even though it's only 3 years old, there's a version of this quarter that's already going for $25 or more. This is in America the Beautiful quarter. You can see that it says at the top Lowell. Over here it says Massachusetts. Here it says E Pluribus Unum. And down here it says 2019. It's a copper nickel clad copper coin, weighs 5.67 grams, is 24.26 millimeters in diameter, and 1.75 millimeters in thickness. This quarter was made in a bunch of different mints, and that's where the money lies. You have to find the right mint mark. So let's look at the front here. United States of America, it says here, Liberty, George Washington facing to the left, In God We Trust behind him, $quarter here. And if you've seen the new version of the Washington quarter where Washington's facing the other way, this is quite a difference in the look. If we look underneath the bottom here, we see, let me magnify that, really, really good version of the J and the F. Now, the America the Beautiful quarters did something. They changed back. The original Washington quarters had a J and an F on the bottom. You can see. Here's one from 1965, but of course, this is the first year that they went away from the silver. Had a J and an F on the bottom. But when they went to the quarters for the State Series, William Cousins changed the design on the front a little bit, modified it, I guess you could say. So they put JF and WC. So on the State quarter versions, you'll see there's two initials. On the America the Beautiful quarters, you'll see that there's two sets of initials on the State ones, just one set of initials on the America the Beautiful quarters. Now this light is not quite as good as we'd like. And so we have this quarter. We have the P here. The P is for Philadelphia. And the Philadelphia Mint in 2019, they made $165.8 million. At the Denver Mint, which would be a D back here, they made $182 million. So $350 million between the two mints. This regular coin here in an MS65 version would only be worth about $1. Not very expensive coins. Of course, they're not very old, and we haven't really found all the error versions and other things yet. So if you do get one, look for the error version and see if you can find one of those. They also made these, however, at the West Point Mint, and that would be a W, and that's the expensive one. If you find one of these with a W on it, they only made 2 million of them at the West Point Mint. It's worth $25 in MS65 condition, $10 just as MS63. They also made this in at the San Francisco Mint. They made 904 plus thousand of the copper nickel clad ones. They made 743 thousand of the proof set versions, and they made 537,000 of the silver mint sets. Silver version of this goes for $10 or over. Proof version of this from San Francisco goes for $3 or over. But the West Point or the W Mint is the one you want. What else do we have on here? Well, we have the mill worker here, and if we magnify it up, we see that there's an old tower back here. And this is, if you ride on US 495 going around Boston, kind of the connector from between US 95 and US 90 and, the Mass Pike and 290, you'll see this when you go through Lowell. The big towers, it's called the Boot Mill Clock Tower right here. You can see the woman in the foreground working in the knitting mill. Down here you can see two initials, a J-I and a P-H. The J-I is for Joel Iskowitz, J-I right here, and the P-H is for Phoebe Hempel. Those are the two engravers of this coin. And you can see many of these mills, they only employed single women, and they put them all in these big houses and shared rooms. It was a pretty hard life, I think, for them. if we look at, they call them boarding houses. And what they would do is that they'd pay them at the mill, but then they'd make them pay for their housing. So the mill kind of kept them. I guess the idea was that they would work there until they got married. This is the kind of the old school, old days. All right, so that's the Lowell Mills, Lowell National Historical Park, America the Beautiful Quarter. If you are looking for these, look for them in the W. Does anybody else do a W, or did they have other West Point Mint coins? Yes. If you're looking for the W coins, look for the 1996 U.S. dime. The U.S. dime is something that you can probably find in almost every coin shop. It is in some of the circulating mint sets, but a lot of times people will pull them out and just sell the mint sets without the dime. The West Point dimes are going, if you get an MS68 or over, going at $50+. So always look for the W, but you know if you're probably going to see most of them in the coin shop. All right. Thanks for watching the DC Coin World International Coin Channel. We'd love to have you subscribe to our channel and leave any comments you might have in the comments section.